Look at my hair. It's so hot in here. Good. No, Mama. We're all over the place. Good morning. I made sure to do my hair really nice for you guys. You seen that little girl? There's like a okay, but really I'm gonna fix my hair. There's a little video clip. It's not really a meme or a gif, but she goes, I want to be famous. And she's like probably 7. That's what I just felt like. Ooh, it's warm. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today.
And happy Monday. Today we're going to be vital elements to your success. Why did your earpods just talk to your phone? Your earpods just...
Are they talking to the phone? Oh, hold on.
They're talking. They have lots of things.
When you put them in a pocket...
Gosh.
And the little ear thingies are covered up, starts talking from the headphones. Lesson learned. All right. Today's been a wild morning already.
It has. But we are here, and that's what matters. Today is Momentum Builder Monday. Today is also Mindset Monday. So we're going to be talking about 2 things that will help to improve your mindset, which, let's face it, it's a continuous work in progress for all of us.
I can tell you one thing right now that I can improve upon. I'm going to share it with you guys. It's really deep, and you might want to write things down. But do you see this grow out right here? Look like I'm going to need my hair dyed again soon. That is something I could improve upon.
When here is a hairstylist, I wonder if we got any hairstylist. Okay, so there's 2 things that you need. Can you guys guess what they are?
There's 2 things. So I don't know Sarit's answer right now. 2 things vital to... Wow, you're really tall today.
Trying to get on your level.
Dang.
Shit.
For those of you who don't know, I'm actually not 6 feet tall. Sarit's just bite size. 2 things vital to our success.
Yeah, 2 elements. Like you need to have it. If you don't have it, you're cutting yourself short. I don't care where you're at in your journey, any journey as a matter of fact.
I can think of one really easy one.
Do you want to say it out loud, or do you want to whisper it?
I think that it's a supportive community, supportive people.
Okay, and why do you need supportive people? For the sake of what? You're on the right track.
For the sake of accountability.
Yes.
And for the sake of somebody to go to when you just need to talk your shit out. When you know, I've caught myself in this position a few times where I'm feeling one way, but I know it's like the logic versus the emotion, right? Like we know, okay, yeah, cool. Like somebody may have it worse than me, but in the moment of something, if we're just talking about mindset, is basically the control of your state, like having control over your state, because in any circumstance, be it good, bad, ugly, the most, I would say like the most valuable thing that you can have is control over your state. And that's all in your mind.
Yeah.
Is understanding logic in the moment that you're feeling emotion, but to have supportive people and to have other people around you who you can just think out loud to and explain what's going on immediately makes you, gives you the ability to overcome whatever mental barriers or struggles or hurdles you are trying to overcome.
Yeah.
That's my thought with the people.
So the one vital element, like you said, it is accountability. And that is why people who try to go on this journey by themselves, like, the same shit happens. Like, why do you try to do it on your own all the fucking time? Why? That is why you are struggling.
This is like walking through a forest blind. You don't know the forest. You don't know the forest. There's been a lot of people have said a lot of different things about what's in the forest. But until you go through it, you have no idea where those things happen, when they happen, how they happen, why they happened. Right? You're going to trip over a log. Okay, cool. Well, if you try to go back through the forest again, aka let's say weight loss, if you lose weight and you stumble over things and you fail and then you gain it back, this is not the case for everybody, but this is a case for many, and was for myself and Sarit, where you're going through and you trip and you fall. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. I gotta start over, right? Like I have a destination and I want to get there. So you start going through again, but you're by yourself again, blindfold still on. You're gonna trip over the same damn log.
Yep.
You're gonna trip, even though you know there's a log somewhere. You are going to trip over it because nobody's with you saying, remember this, remember that. Hey, this is up ahead. So for me, the people are everything. Like, we haven't become as successful as we've become without you guys.
Well, and without our mentors. We're not trying to do it by ourselves. So here's the thing.
So we have people we're leading, and we have people that we've chosen to lead us as well.
Yes. So accountability is huge because, for one, if you try to go through it alone, there's going to be blind spots that you have no idea about. Like, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall. It's only a matter of time. And it doesn't matter how much you know. You have to be seeking accountability, because without that, you're just going to always get jaded by your blind spots. And regardless of where you're at in your journey, you're gonna cut yourself short. And that's why, like, a lot of people who are even, for example, like, they've been consistent with the routine as far as their fitness goes, and maybe they meal prep, but they're like, I'm not sure why I'm looking soft. I'm like, because you've got a shit ton of blind spots that you're not aware of. And you need somebody to hold you accountable who can see your blind spots and say, hey, this is something we need to work on. This is something we need to work on. This is something we need to tweak. And it's never big things. It's normally like little things. And that's what people don't really understand. They think that it's all this grandiose thing. No, it's normally something little that you just need to build consistency on. It's like closing a patch and then like constantly stepping on it. And we talked about it this weekend. We actually did a video about it. The concept of progress versus speed. Like,
Holla. Did that go on our story?
Yesterday, yeah.
If anybody saw our story yesterday on Instagram, maybe Facebook too. I think they go to both. I don't really know these things. It was, we were in the middle of a workout. And it was like, speed, like progress is progress. It is not the same as speed, nor does it have anything to do with speed. They are two completely different things. We always want to get somewhere so fast, and we forget and become blind to the things that we've accomplished or overcome and how we've progressed through things. So recognizing that when you make progress, it is progress. Period. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Speed has nothing to do with your trajectory.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing great ever happened fast. I saw that Nicole Miller's in the room. She's jacked as hell. Ask her how long she's been lifting. She'll tell you probably what? Anywhere between like 5 to 10 years? Maybe 3 if she's like a genetic freak. But she's not going to tell you, oh, 1 year. Like, so many people are like, I want to do this fast. If you want to do this fast, then you're just a fucking amateur because you're focusing on the wrong thing. So, accountability is huge for a few reasons. Because for one, when you're being held accountable by somebody who's been there and done that, you start working on your blind spots. And by the way, when you start working on your blind spots, it might hurt your ego. It might be something that you might be resistant to. And that in and of itself is a freaking process. So had it been up to you, you would probably choose the other way out because the other way out is easier. And that is why success is difficult because people don't, for the most part, unless you're here and you're watching this, I believe that the major part of society, they really don't want success. They say that they do, but when somebody wants success, the first question I'll ask them afterwards is, what are you willing to give up? That's when you know that somebody is interested in becoming successful because now they're able to make sacrifices or they're committed to making sacrifices. You want to move one step up with regards to anything in life, there's got to be some kind of sacrifice. See, 15 years. Okay, but consistently for 3. Exactly. That shit didn't happen overnight. But I bet you that people walk up to you, right? And they're like, oh, your body's goals, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, what do you do?
And they
do
think that if they had a successful week, then they should look like you. We get that shit all the time.
Hey, Nicole, do you work out? I don't know how many times we've heard that question. If I had a penny for every time, I would have 3 cents. But let's go back to success. You know, success, the people who don't really want it, Sarit was talking about, are the people who live in it would be nice land. Mm-hmm. It would be nice. But the people who want it are the people who are doing it. Because success does not wait. And no. You can define success on your own. You can decide what that means for you. That's not our place. But success is, what is success? The fulfillment or completion of a set goal or target. That would be my idea of the definition of success.
That's actually a good definition.
But, you know...
And success looks differently for everybody, just so you guys know. Like, right. It all depends on where you are in life and what's important to you.
Right, but that's why I'm saying, like, the completion of a set target or goal. Now, when people say that they want success,
accomplishment of an aim or on purpose.
The accomplishment of an aim or purpose, which means you are aiming for something on purpose and you accomplished it. That is success. So it could be big, it could be small. We say count your wins, right? So... the successful people are the ones actively doing it because there is no better time, and it sounds really fucking cliche, but there's no better time than right now. Yeah. Because you could say, oh, I have this coming up, or oh, I'm so busy, or I'm so busy that, doing this, and I have these things I have to do. Then you don't want it.
Yeah.
Then you don't want it. It's simple. No, I do want it. I do want to be successful. Then show me, homie.
Yeah, stop talking, start acting. And the first act is the act of sacrifice. You're going to sacrifice time,
comfort,
energy, money. The more you sacrifice, the more committed you are.
Skrilla.
So,
dollar bill, y'all.
So, accountability is important because it helps you to start tackling your blind spots. If you don't tackle your blind spots, then it's like driving on a road that's full of potholes. I lived in Jamaica for 6 years and shit, like those roads, man, like they're full of potholes. It's like you can never have like a smooth ride. It's always bumpy.
I have a perfect example of and good thing for Sarit. She's the reason why we stay on track for these conversations, because I go off into nowhere land. But hopefully at least it's valuable for you in nowhere land. But yesterday, perfect example. I wanted to go surfing, but did I really? Because I had got into our rickety ass car and it said, fuck. Fuck. I didn't find a solution because going surfing wasn't that worth it to me. And I'm okay to say that. But that's the difference. Had I wanted it, I was offered somebody else's car to go. I was just upset.
Tombs?
Yeah. So I could have gone. Did I want it? No.
Not bad.
But people would say like, oh, I want to go surfing, but my car wouldn't start. By the way, we reached a big milestone yesterday.
But if Emily Abbott was like, yo, me and my boy are surfing right now, come meet us, you would have probably made the sacrifice because now you would have been held accountable.
I would, but also like it's really fun to go with other people, even more than it is fun to go by myself.
But again, it's the concept of accountability.
Sure. No, you're right. I would have been like, come pick me up. No, I would have found a way there. I didn't find it right in my heart to Uber with a surfboard and getting fucking sand and ocean water all over somebody's car. So anyways, that's the difference. Like if you want something, you find a way to get it. Otherwise, you just don't want it. You're living in it would be nice land. Mm-hmm. Okay, so people, accountability, yes.
So
that's
you need,
number one.
so you need accountability, and hopefully, when you're being held accountable, you're being held accountable by multiple people. A person who's going through the same journey as you are, so that they can relate to you, and a person who's been there, done that, and has proven to practice what they preach. I don't care what fucking degree you have. If you don't practice what you preach, then nothing that you know or say matters. Because you don't practice what you preach. Therefore, it's inauthentic. And that is the biggest problem with the coaching industry.
Biggest.
I know, I said it weird.
The biggest.
With the coaching industry is that most coaches, they tell you what to do, but they don't do it.
I was one of them. I couldn't
But
control
you changed.
I couldn't. I was struggling with disordered eating patterns, and I was trying to tell my people how to do the right thing. And I knew it was the right thing, but I had a hard time doing it myself, and I felt like a fraud.
Yeah.
I really did. And I know there are a lot of female personal trainers in that same position.
Yeah.
Coaches, whatever.
Just putting it out there, if you're a female personal trainer, I would love to partner with you on something. I have an incredible idea. We'd love it if you're interested and if you're open-minded, then please send an email to admin@erinsarit.com. And
we changed our email address.
And say personal trainer opportunity.
We changed our email address at erinsarit.com. That's a milestone. Boom.
Okay, so the second reason why accountability matters is because accountability gives you a sense of urgency.
Nowness.
A sense of urgency. When you're not being held accountable, you're like, I will start it next month. I will start it next year. No. When you're being held accountable, any day matters. And that's why you show up more. Your success is a byproduct of you showing up more consistently. It doesn't matter if it's January 1st at 6 a.m. or December 25th at 9 a.m. It doesn't matter. But when you're not being held accountable, there's no sense of urgency. So you're not going to get anywhere.
You're tiptoeing through the tulips.
You're going to tiptoe through the tulips, and you're going to become stagnant because you're not focusing on consistency. Success is something that you create every day. by learning to overcome things that you weren't able to before, or by keeping up with what you've overcome that you weren't able to overcome before. It looks different for everybody. So it gives you a sense of urgency. Therefore, you're more likely to get better results at a faster rate because of that sense of urgency.
Okay, so is urgency the other one?
What do you mean?
You said there was two. One of them was accountability.
Well, it goes on. What I'm talking about right now goes under the umbrella of accountability.
But is there a number 2? We haven't gotten to number 2
We
yet?
haven't gone to number 2 yet.
We haven't gotten to number 2 yet.
No, we haven't gone to number 2 yet.
And urgency is a matter of setting deadlines. Like, you want to accomplish something. Okay, what is, I believe the Parkinson's law states that it will take you, the amount of time that you have is how long it will take you to accomplish whatever thing you're working on. If you're like, oh, I got all day, when are you going to do that shit? At the last fucking minute. You know it. Because you got all this time. If you said, like Sarit and I will literally chunk down tasks or to dominate things, and we'll say, this is how much time it should take. This is how much time I'm giving myself. Sometimes when we really have a lot of shit to do, we will time ourselves. We'll put a timer on and be like, I got an hour. If this shit ain't done, it ain't done. And so we are like, don't talk to me. We'll literally say, I gotta do this thing. I can't talk. I'm gonna put my headphones and I gotta get it done. But when you set deadlines for yourself, the urgency then is set. I got this much time and I gotta finish this thing. I gotta go to X number of grocery stores to do all my shopping. Okay, well, I got this much time at this one. I got this much time at this one. I got this much time at this one. Otherwise, you're gonna walk the aisles of Costco like Sarit's mom and my mom and look at every damn thing. And then before you know it, 3 hours gone by. And then you say you don't have time for things?
Hey, but if you think about it, this is a really good point. That is why when you guys go to the grocery store, you have to make a list. Otherwise, you're gonna buy all this bullshit that you didn't.
Accountability too.
It's accountability. Yeah. Making a list, I just thought about it, is holding yourself accountable to only getting things that are important. When you don't make a list, anybody who goes to the grocery store who doesn't make a list, I guarantee you that they get extra shit that they don't need.
How many times do you walk out of Costco expecting your bill to be like $200 and it's like $6?
Yeah.
And you're like, how did this happen?
Hence
and then
why,
we say we don't have time. Oh, I'm sorry. Look at the screen time on your phone.
Hence
for
why
Instagram.
How you do anything is how you do everything when you're a high achiever. Because if you go to the grocery store, you don't make a list, you're wasting extra money that you're obviously not holding yourself accountable to, and you are consuming extra calories, which, let's face it, that's not nutrient-dense calories. That shit comes from chocolate and peanut butter and all that bullshit. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be eating it, but I'm saying that it's an unintentional way to buy, which means that it's going to be consumed unintentionally. Okay.
They're talking about Instacart, which, by the way, yes,
it's amazing.
We use it. We actually went out into the public a couple weeks ago and we were like, "What is this? What? There's people?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh."
Yeah. We're very much triggered.
We were living the quarantine life before everybody was living the quarantine life.
Yeah. But, the other reason why you need accountability is because, let's face it, accountability gets you to be more disciplined. And we can all be more disciplined, regardless of how disciplined you are. Because how many times, and this is for all the professional dieters, for all the professional yo-yo dieters, you actually know how to eat. But the reason why you struggle is because you don't do it. And that is because you're not disciplined. You're not disciplined and you're not putting yourself in a position where you're being held to account. So many of you guys in the room, it's like, before you joined the program, like, you knew all these things. Like, shit, Danita, Emily, like, there's so many of you guys that I can think about. But Accountability is so important. Accountability in and of itself, if you're being held accountable by somebody who cares about you, who practices what they preach, like that shit will change your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Number 2?
that's the one thing. The other thing is responsibility. In order for you to be successful, you need to have accountability and you need to be held responsible.
AKA?
And you need to hold yourself accountable to being responsible. Because it's easy to have a victim mindset. I used to have a victim mindset for a really long time, and I wasn't even aware of it. Blaming the snow for being late, blaming whatever for being 12 minutes late to the show. You guys, that wasn't a long time ago. But we all make excuses.
And responsibility, there's responsibility to others, there's responsibility to self, and accountability to self, which equals one of my favorite words in the English dictionary called ownership.
Yeah.
That is self-responsibility, is ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Your successes and your failures are determined only by your level of ownership.
Yep.
Because if you're in constant blame mode, you're not taking responsibility for what you have control over. You're instead taking that energy and putting it into and you're putting that responsibility on things that are outside of your control. No wonder you are not going to succeed. Because you're putting the responsibility on things you don't have control over. If you put the responsibility on you, own your shit, then you allow yourself the space to be successful. Because you're saying, okay, here's what I have control over. Here's what I can do better. Oh, this didn't turn out the way that I thought. Instead of saying because of something else, then that's where you ask yourself, what could I have done better? Where did I fall short? What can I control my mind on? And if you are in victim mode and you have that mentality, you're always going to be frustrated with the lack of success that you have. And I think that this group especially, which I'm so grateful for, has been really, really like absorbing and accepting the things that we talk about and teach and then applying. And it's so amazing to see you guys overcome. I'll see somebody new come into this, to the Facebook group, to the public Facebook group. I'll see somebody new come in and you know, they make a post that's very woe is me-ish. And then I'll see them post later on, months down the road, and I can watch the transformation happen. It's fucking incredible. When you listen to Espresso, when you absorb positive influence, and when you are a coachable individual, and when you can be open-minded to a different way of teaching, when you can understand that your weaknesses don't make you inferior. We all have weaknesses, but guess what? That's why other people exist who have those weaknesses of ours as strengths, because we need each other. And when you are able to accept your weaknesses for what they are and say, hey, I can improve on that, or maybe I don't care to improve on that. That's okay too. But I think that people have this oh, I'm inferior if I have a weakness, so they don't want to express the weakness. But you have to express the weakness to get better at it. So for you guys, being open-minded, being coachable, coming in, listening, absorbing, applying, even when the truth kind of stings a little bit, like somebody snapped the rubber band on your wrist, you're like, ah, oof. But guess what? If you're not wearing that rubber band, nobody can snap it. If you see that as like the thing you struggle with and you remove it, nobody can snap it again. Because it's gone. Mm-hmm. I don't know what kind of land I just went off to, but it felt right. So I hope it was valuable.
I want to share a success story just to show you guys the kind of community you've inserted yourself in. So just so you guys know, this is not a client. I've never even knew of that person until she messaged me, but like just to show you guys how, as a group you guys are so coachable, which is amazing. So her name is Dia Shelby, and she sent me a message on Facebook yesterday, and she's like, holy shit, in 1 month of listening to Wealth Wednesdays, I have made some serious wins happen. I took out a low-interest loan to pay off debt. No credit card balance left, and any debt is now being paid off paid off in a more responsible way. My credit score went up by 113 points.
Shit.
My partner and I now have organized our finances to save with the goal to invest for passive income. Could not have done it without you guys.
Why are you trying to make me cry though?
And this is not to brag, but this goes to show the power of taking ownership. Dia took ownership. So Dia Shelby, like a massive shout out to you.
And it's when you allow yourself to be open-minded, you give yourself the option to get creative, to find solutions to your problems.
Yeah.
But when you want to be a victim and say, oh, I can't because, the moment you say can't, the very moment you say can't, your brain says, okay, shut her down.
Anybody who uses the word can't lacks ownership, just so you know. So make sure to remove that word out of your dictionary. And instead of saying can't, ask yourself, how can I?
And even if you really truly believe you can't, just by saying, how can I? Your brain doesn't shut off to finding solutions. It allows you to get creative to say, how can I?
Yep.
Right? When you say, how can I? Your brain says, oh, we got to find a way.
Yep.
But when you say, I can't, brain says, okay, forget about it. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to try. And that is such a huge, huge, huge difference. And if we're just talking about like overall, like happiness and joy in life, when you take ownership, you actually start to become more happy. Like just because you're seeing all these things that now you do have control over.
And you become more humble. Because there's really some things that like you have no idea how to figure it out. But you're like, you know what? I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out.
But I can learn. Yeah.
So, just a quick recap with regards to what we talked about. You need both accountability and responsibility in order to be successful. You don't have neither of them. I don't care what, you're not going to be as successful as you truly want to be. But normally ownership comes first, because if you don't take ownership, then there's no way in hell that you're going to put yourself in a position to be held accountable. Because when you're being held accountable, you're putting yourself out there.
You know who goes off on this really well?
Who?
Is Marie Forleo. In her book, Everything is Figure Outable. And she said, next time you say the word can't, or you say you can't in something, replace the word can't with won't. I can't, what's an example? I can't work out today.
I can't do the inner circle program because I just don't have the funds.
Versus, I won't find a way. I won't ask somebody else to borrow money. I won't look at my finances and take away some of my expenses to save for this. I won't, or I'm unwilling to
make a sacrifice
fill in the
for
blank.
the sake of the greater good.
And it doesn't have to be that, but like, I can't work out today because I worked late. I won't work out today because I don't feel like going to the gym later.
Or I won't work out today because I'm not willing to sacrifice an hour of sleep.
It comes down to a willingness or lack of.
Yeah. And again, it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's vulnerable.
I'm trying to think of some instances where the word I can't, or you can't, or we can't, or this can't would be like relevant and like accurate. But I really truly believe that in this universe, we are given all of the materials, all of the substances, all of the chemicals, all of the, what is the word for like, you know, like...
Material?
Yeah, like elements to make anything happen. Elon Musk is sending electric cars to Mars. Tell me you can't do something. But what the common denominator in anybody who achieves something extraordinary is that they didn't do it by themselves. Oh. I can't be taller. Put your ass on some stilts. I bet you can be taller.
I would say the only people who just really can't are people who live in compromised situations.
I know who can't. If you are dependent, even so, I'm like, you can't go get groceries. I mean, you could steal them. Ooh, she's stealing.
But that's the power of accountability. Mechanically, the only people who can't,
or if you have a severe disability, there are things you can't,
yes,
because of the chemical compound. What, I'm not a scientist.
Or physical disability, but like women in the Middle East, they cannot express themselves because it is against the law and they will be stoned to death.
So they can.
And that's why
they can if they want to die. But still, they can.
Right. Or just really unfortunate people in Africa, like in a lot of third world countries, like Africa, like a lot of people in India, like Asia, like Middle East, you guys. And this is why I care about this mission so much, because I want to be so successful so that I can create a voice for women who actually legally don't have a voice. If you are in the United States or in Canada or in the United Kingdom, then you can do anything. And the only thing that you can't do is the limitation that you put in your head. It's not going to be easy, but you can, because you're not going to be stoned to death the minute you try when you get out the house. Or if you're a battered woman, and I want to help them too.
I can't do this alone. That is okay.
Nobody can do this alone.
They're using the word I can't in a way that is like...
I know, I love it.
Here's the thing. Okay. I want to see all the sides. And if the word can't exists, it exists for a reason. I just believe it is strongly misused. So there have to be valid ways that the word can't is legitimate. Otherwise, why would we have it? Mm-hmm. Okay? But it is wildly over and misused.
Yeah. So let's just do a quick recap. Look, your life happens to you because of you, whether you like it or not. So if you want to be successful with regards to anything in life, be it your relationship, be it your finances, be it your weight loss journey, for one, you have to set an intention. If you don't set an intention, it's like walking like a chicken with its head chopped off. You have to set an intention. And then you have to measure that intention. How close am I to it? And how far am I from it? It is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. Whatever it is that you want to achieve. And by the way, once you achieved what you weren't able to achieve before, once you get there, you're now going to have a new intention. And the third thing is that you got to recalibrate after you measure. How close am I? How far away am I? Okay, so what do I have to do next? You want to drop 20 pounds? Guess what? Once you've dropped 20 pounds, the goal is now going to look different. If you've got more weight to drop, then you're probably going to say, okay, now I don't care to weigh at 180 anymore. Shit, 160 is my new benchmark. Or if you're like, shit, like as far as I'm concerned, like I'm already 120, you don't have really much weight to lose. What you got to do is just, you have to shift your body composition. So it always keeps on evolving, okay? So step one, set an intention. Step two, measure it, okay? How close or far away am I, okay? And then you have to recalibrate. And it's a cycle that continues and continues and continues. And then that's the power of accountability, because chances are that if you are not being held accountable, for one, you're not going to have a formula with regards to how to get there. For two, you're not going to have a sense of urgency with regards to measuring it. Because let's face it, where you are right now is not where you want to be. And the easier thing to do is not to measure it, not to face it. But when you're being told, hey, face it, for any of you guys who've been in any of our programs, on day one, when you had to submit your photos and your weight and your measurements, we got so many emails from you guys who said, oh, I really don't want to do this. Do I have to do this? Yes, you do. You have to feel it and you have to measure it.
If there's something you're really resistant to, ask yourself why, because it's probably something that you need to do. It's just scary and unfucking.
And that's why you weren't successful before. And also that is why a lot of people who are in debt, right? And we talked about it in our money conversations. That is why you want to check your bank account on a regular basis, because wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You have to face it. And most people who are in deep shit, they don't want to face the problem. So they never look at their bank account. They're like, oh, I'm going to get anxiety. Well, shit, you got to take action.
Check your bank account like you look at your body in the mirror every day.
Yeah.
And when you take photos of a body you're not proud of, we're going to say that because I think that basically allows you to decide what kind of body makes you feel amazing. When you take photos of something you're not proud of, tell me that doesn't inspire you and motivate you to be better. But also, I'll tell you, like, if you've seen any before and afters of Sarit and I, it's not before. It's in the middle of. And that's because we were too ashamed to take the befores. I had a personal trainer. She told me to take it. I didn't take it. Now, I wish I would have. Because now I don't have actual, real, legitimate proof of the difference. People are like, oh yeah, you guys have been like this your whole life. Wrong.
Yeah.
But because we didn't take those, we don't really have a full understanding visually of where we were and where we are. Mm-hmm. So that's why we encourage you to do that. But that's with anything in life. If you feel like you're hesitant to do something, or you're really avoiding something, or you're resistant to it, you probably need to do it.
So wherever you are in the journey, you gotta ask yourself, what does success look like to you right now in this very moment? You gotta identify where you want to go. Otherwise, don't bitch about the fact that you're not going anywhere, because you don't know actually what you want. And that is the problem with most people. They don't even take the time to set an intention. So they try to lose weight. They go and they buy all these like pills and stuff because it would be nice. It would be nice, but they're being unintentional. So guess what? They're not gonna go anywhere. Okay, after that, after you set an intention, you gotta measure how far off you are from that. And you gotta do it on a regular basis. And that doesn't mean you gotta step on the scale every day, by the way.
Please don't.
You gotta measure the trajectory, not the point in which you're in. Okay? And you gotta recalibrate. Okay, how did I show up yesterday? If I'm 50 pounds overweight, how did I show up yesterday? Don't fucking step on the scale. Did I eat clean?
Yeah,
did I
know
eat
what you
clean
did.
with all my meals? Did I work out? Did I take care? Did I get plenty of sleep? Recalibrate on a regular basis and have checkpoints. Now, if you want to be super duper successful, then you have to put yourself in a position where you're being held to account, because now there is a sense of urgency to everything that you do. If it's just up to you, chances are is that you're not going to do it, because it's going to get uncomfortable. And it's only going to keep on getting more uncomfortable. But the beautiful thing about success is that the more successful you become, the more your tolerance with regards to discomfort builds. It never gets easier. You just keep getting better. And that's what it's all about. I'm done for today.
Me too.
Amazing.
You guys are awesome, incredible, fantastic, phenomenal, beautiful, wonderful, splendid.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. And, you know, for those of you guys who've been sharing our stuff, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. If you found value in today's episode, please do us a favor and help us to share the love so that we can make an even bigger impact. Remember, this is not about us. This is about the mission. We're on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, lifestyle, and financial habits that have transformed ours.
How many new people came into our group last week?
400
new people last week. Thank you for every single share, for every single invite. If you find it in your heart, consider the price of this free show to invite people to the group so that they can also see the magic and hear the truth.
Absolutely. It is day 15 of the In Motion Challenge. I hope that you guys are still moving. We surely are, because we practice what we preach. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just telling you that if we put on something, we participate in it. So you better do the same. Lastly, tomorrow is Q&A day. So if you have any questions, do us a favor and just fill out the form. We'll answer any and all of your questions.
Where is the form? In the announcement section of the Facebook group page.
Yes. Other than that, if you have any particular questions about anything that we're up to, then please feel free to reach out to admin@erinsarit.com, and we will be sure to support you with whatever it is that you need. You guys, we hope that you have a beautiful day today and a beautiful start to your week. Let's make it the best week yet. Happy Monday.
Bye.
Bye.